as we mentioned before, 2 people were transported to the hospital. Currently, their conditions are unknown. We're trying to get that at the ABC 7 News desk to figure out where they were transported to and what their conditions are. California Highway Patrol on scene. More than likely, they're going to send their MATE team out, which is a very specialized, multi-jurisdictional agency that investigates these multi-fatalities. But you can see a very sad scene here. It looks that either family members or talking to the CHP, consoling each other on that right shoulder here of this accident. Eastbound 10 freeway at Citrus. The right 2 lanes are closed. The left 3 lanes remained open. We looked at the backup as we were flying in from Air 7 HD. You are backed up clear to the 15, maybe even to Haven. If you are planning that you are watching this in Los Angeles and getting ready for your commute, your afternoon commute back to the IE or San Gabriel Valley or parts further east, you're not going to want to take the 10 this afternoon. The 60, a much better option. 210, a much better option. This is going to be here for quite some time. Anything like this with multiple fatalities, investigators are going to do all they can to figure out exactly what happened, and that takes a lot of time. There may be some points during this investigation that all lanes more than likely could and will be shut down for them to measure skid marks, get all the evidence together. But so we can pretty much count on this being here for quite some time. Again, recapping, this is the eastbound 10 freeway in Citrus, at Citrus, I should say, in the city of Fontana. We've seen bad wrecks from Aero 7 HD in the past, but this one, I can't remember ever seeing a compact sedan this crushed. Very few times in our careers, but this is the whole rear seat passenger and trunk compartment is compressed into the front. We can only assume, and we hate to do that, but that the fatalities more than likely occurred in that vehicle or near that vehicle. It is uncertain what caused the original crash or why these vehicles were on the right shoulder and why that pickup truck careened into them. But that's what CHP will be investigating. Fire department still has people on scene here. I'm looking out the window of Air 7 HD. There are several flatbed tow trucks here. We see at least 3, possibly 4 vehicles involved. In fact, we'll pan back to the right, Tad, if you can. And right to see that gray sedan there, right in the center of your screen. We'll push in, pan to the left. And yeah, that's gray sedan, possibly also involved. I don't see a lot of traffic damage on that, but you can see California Highway Patrol to the right side of your screen, interviewing witnesses, possibly drivers involved, trying to put together a picture of exactly what happened here this afternoon. Eastbound 10 at Citrus. In fact, what we'll do is I'm going to set up SkyMap 7 here to give you a better idea of where this is, I should say. Okay, we're going to pull out, and we're going to switch over to SkyMap 7 now. And we're going to show you exactly where this is. You can see SkyMap 7 overlaying where this is. And we're about 1/3 of a mile away from Citrus, and we believe Citrus may be a little bit further to our east. But we're going to pull out some more, Tad, just show the backup. Show the backup to the eastbound side. So there's Cherry. We're going to take SkyMap off just for a second as we come into Cherry. But look at the backup there. This is what you are going to have to. We can push in a little bit more. This is what you're going to have to contend with. Watch your exposure. If you're heading eastbound on that 10 this afternoon, this is something you do not want to be tied up in, and this is not going to be cleared anytime soon. Even though the left 3 lanes are open, and only the 2 right lanes remain shut down, it is a traffic nightmare. And everybody going home on the 10. A good idea not to use the 10, again, the 60 or the 210, a much better option this afternoon. What we are not seeing is, which isn't altogether a bad thing, we are not seeing the bodies on scene. It is a possibility that the deceased were transported and either died at the hospital. There's a possibility they still could be in that car there, and it's hard to say, but you can see where the medical debris in front of the vehicle, where maybe some of the victims were treated, is still there. I don't believe any bodies are on scene. I just think that's a medical triage center that may have been set up when paramedics and firefighters were treating the patients of this tragic accident. But yeah, you can see the sheer impact and the speed of that white truck and how hard that would hit that sedan to actually cause that type of damage to the rear of that vehicle. It looks like some kind of a work truck. It appears that there's a bunch of debris in the back of that truck. We'll use extreme vision and we'll go in a little tighter to try to see what that is on the back of that truck. It looks like maybe pool equipment. Yeah, that looks like pool equipment, possibly or gardening equipment. Hard really to tell, but definitely some kind of a work truck, short bed, crew cab, maybe a Toyota. Hard really to tell here, but that was involved in the accident. Then we'll pan left again with the extreme vision on still, and we want to be very careful here that we don't show anything that may be too graphic for even our web audience here. Is yeah, you can't even see. You can almost see where that pickup truck rode up the back of that truck, where its tires are above the rear tires of that sedan. Not only are we dealing with eastbound traffic, I'm just looking out the window here. You don't have to go there, Tad, but I'm looking westbound traffic on the 10 freeway through Fontana, and points beyond are backed up as well. That's all looky-loo, slowing, if you will, people looking at this accident as they're traveling westbound on that 10, approaching Citrus. The accident is west of Citrus on the eastbound 10. So if you get around this accident and you're able to get around the accident and get back on the 10 freeway at Citrus, you should be okay if you're going eastbound. Left 3 lanes remain open. 2 right lanes in the right shoulder closed for the investigation. Just about, I don't know, 5 miles or so east of Ontario Airport. So if you've got flights going to Ontario Airport and you're coming to the airport from the Inland Empire, you may want to plan some extra time, especially on that westbound 10. Or, as we mentioned, take the 60 or the 210 to get around this. It looks like CHP and maybe some of the local Fontana police are here. We saw a very sad scene on the freeway just a few minutes ago with family members here, it appears, that were consoling each other. You can see at least 7 or 8 people here speaking with investigators and detectives about this. We're going to have a full report on this at Eyewitness News at 3 p.m. here in just a few minutes. Our 3 p.m. newscast, I will be giving you a recap on this accident. Again, a terrible, terrible tragedy. 4 people lost their lives, 2 people transported to the hospital, and yet to be determined their conditions of this accident here on the 10 freeway in Fontana. This is JT Alpa, and we are live from Air 7 HD, streaming on abc7.com, and I believe we're also streaming on Facebook. But God, you just look at this, and it is just a terrible, terrible, terrible sight. You can imagine the intensity of this collision for that type of damage to occur. We keep saying that, but every time I look at this, it's just hard to believe that if anybody was in that car, that they survived, and that we're surmising that may have been the case. And that may not have been the original point of impact. That's just where they came to rest. So if we pan to the right, we can probably try to look at where the original point of impact was. We're probably guessing somewhere right in there. We see some markings on the ground. That may have been where one of the vehicles were stopped. You can see that CHP mate investigator walking that out. Very intense investigation. A lot of painstaking time to figure out and recreate how these things happen. You can see the white CHP vehicles there, and the equipment almost looks like, you can push back into that, almost looks like equipment they use to survey streets. That's a 360-degree camera system that they can recreate the accident scene and document it for evidentiary purposes. Uncertain if anybody's been arrested in this. Uncertain if the driver of the truck has been detained. We're trying to ascertain that information. But we're going to see at least 7 or 8 CHP units here as they continue to mark the sidewalk with different colors that indicate points of impact, where certain vehicles were. All that means something to these guys. Extremely highly trained, these mate investigators. They do this for, they are specialized CHP officers for these types of investigations. Anything with multiple fatalities, school buses, anything involving school buses they're involved with. And they are the ultimate in accident investigation. They are the CSI of the CHP. And when they roll out to a scene, it means it's usually pretty bad, which this one definitely is. Pacing out, you can see him pacing out the length, but we believe where we saw those last markings may have been the point of impact. And we'll pan left to the car, and you'll see exactly how far that is. Out the window, I'm looking at least 50 feet until everything came to a stop. We do not see the coroner here yet, and we do not see any covered bodies here, which would lead me to believe, again, I'm surmising that the people that died in this accident may have been transported to the hospital and either died en route or died there, because we do not see any coroner vans or anybody here, unless they're on the other side of that the right shoulder retaining wall. But again, what we're hearing, and it still needs to be confirmed, that at least 2, possibly 3 vehicles were on the right shoulder, either disabled or investigating a more minor traffic accident when a pickup truck veered out of lanes and into the right shoulder, slamming those vehicles and causing those fatalities here on this eastbound 10 just before Citrus. So we're going to get ready for our live shot here in Air 7 for our 3 p.m. live newscast. So we're going to leave you here. We're going to keep streaming this on the web and on the abc7.com and Facebook, but I'm going to go away for a second, prepare for a 3 p.m. newscast on Channel 7, and that is the latest over Fontana. All right, go ahead, control room. Okay, roger that. Who's this? Hi, Megan. Okay, now they got all lanes stopped. There we go. Yeah, Ellen Colleen, this is just a terrible accident. It happened on the eastbound 10 freeway right before Citrus in the city of Fontana, and look at the sheer damage of this accident. What we are understanding is there were 2 vehicles that were disabled in the right-hand shoulder, either during an accident investigation or a disabled type situation where the car broke down, when this white pickup truck, I should say, slammed into the back of this silver sedan. That is a 4-door sedan, and it completely penetrated into that vehicle, and also 2 other vehicles were involved. Unfortunately, 4 people lost their lives in this accident, and 2 other people were also transported to the hospital. Their conditions are unknown. Just a sad, sad situation. We don't know what the conditions are, as we mentioned. CHP mate teams, that's the accident investigation team that handles these multi-fatality type situations, are on scene trying to piece together exactly what happened and how it happens. But meanwhile, your drive on this eastbound 10 through Fontana, it is bad. The right 2 lanes are shut down, only leaving the 3 lanes open. That is going to cause you some delays. Use the 210 or the 60. Live from Air 7 HD over Fontana, JT Alpa, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Okay, thank you. And Desk Air 7?